Is that 2 pairs of cleats you've given away?
Yeah, I usually go through them quicker than that, so it kind of helps me out being able to give them away. So
like how many practices do you usually wear a pair of cleats?
Usually they get worn down after a week or two, and then it's generally they get so worn down you have to switch them out. And so I'm glad someone as gross as they are, someone's willing to take them.
So you wear a different pair of cleats for every game then?
Generally for the games they get so beat up that you have to kind of switch them out, and so it's just something that you've thankful for Nike, especially providing as many cleats as they do, so that's really helpful.
How did you feel like tonight went for you guys offensively?
I thought there were ups and downs. There were a lot of things that we can correct. There's some good things that we did offensively, but at the same time, we're going to watch the film either tonight or tomorrow morning, and we're going to have to be honest with ourselves and attack the things that we could do better. I thought we moved the ball pretty well late in the end. We got some drives going, and that's part of camp. It's tough going against that defense. They're a really good defense. We see them all the time. They see us all the time. So we're doing everything we can to move the ball, and we'll be better at it.
You mentioned sort of getting better as the practice went on. You obviously had some missing pieces there up front. Did it take some time to maybe sort of adjust to the different pieces up there and some of the pressure that was maybe coming in?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about camp is that you get to try out these new guys and to have guys fill in for positions that normally they're not playing. I think that's big, and that's the development and learning process that you have to go through. And I thought the offensive line did a great job battling today, and it's a scrimmage, and there are going to be tough parts. We're going to be put in difficult situations, but they handled it well, and I thought they performed pretty well.
Derwin just kind of smiled and said this camp he definitely notices that you're seeing kind of what the defense is doing a little bit quicker and diagnosing things. How much do you feel that growth within yourself this year?
I think any experience is good experience, whether it's good or bad. And I think going through these past couple of years and picking up as much as I can from the defense and learning from Derwin and JC and Mike Davis and Asante, these guys are really good at hiding their disguises and playing defense. And, Loie Gilman's done a great job too. And just anytime you get to spend with them, before practice, after practice, finding out why they're playing certain leverages, the way they do, they've been really helpful with that. And at the end of the day, we're all competing together, and so we understand that we're just trying to get better, so they've been really helpful.
Do you carve out specific time to talk to those guys about kind of getting their mindset, or is that just something that happens organically in between plays or when you're chatting with them?
I think it's kind of like you said, after plays, there'll be a given play where maybe they played some technique that I wasn't expecting. I'll go up and I'll ask them, and they're pretty helpful with that, and they'll understand, this is why I'm doing that. And so they've been really helpful with that. And whether that's after a play, after practice, whether we're in the locker room, whatever, they've been really helpful with that.
How would you assess that 2-minute drill that ended up getting a field goal there?
We gave ourselves a shot. We moved the ball when we needed to and put the field goal team out there. And so that's all you can do as a quarterback and as an offense. And there are definitely things that we can clean up, offensively. But I thought overall, 2-minute, I thot that went pretty well.
What has the chess match been like with Eric Kendricks? Talking about some of that, like getting the line, audibling, making adjustments, those sorts of things. What's that chess match been like with a guy like him who has as much experience as he has?
Yeah, he's very smart, and those linebackers are really well coached, and they're smart football players. And when we ID a guy, they're able to flip it and kind of go through these process of getting the right guy to blitz. And Eric, he's seen so much football. He's been around, and he's had so much success in this league that he's got a great feel for our offense, and he's one of those guys that is able to pick it up pretty quickly.
Justin, what's your level of comfort then like with John Hightower and kind of those other receivers that you've kind of gone and pulled away?
Mm-hmm. I think it's been really good. Like I said in camp, you're getting these reps with the guys that aren't generally ones and twos, and so to have guys being able to step up and get timing with them, I think that's huge because they're going to have to play in the 1 and 2 spot eventually, and that's part of football, of adversity and injuries, but those guys have stepped up big time, and when their name is called, they'll be ready.
Do you feel like that's what helped you last year when at times Keenan and Mike went down and other guys had to step in and step up for them?
Yeah, I think that's a big reason. Josh Palmer has stepped up big time, and we called on his name, and he answered, and he had to step up big time because you're down Mike and Keenan, and someone's got to deliver. And I thought Josh Palmer did a great job filling that void.
Have you seen Josh Kelly and Isaiah grow?
They've been running the ball really well. They're running hard downfield. They're smart players. They're able to pick up the offense pretty quickly, and both of those guys are competing. And at the end of the day, they're great locker room guys. They take care of each other, and we're comfortable with whoever's out there.
Have in this offense, is it about where you thought it would be at the beginning of camp?
That's a good question. That's kind of hard to answer. I think that we made a lot of improvements I think we're right where we need to be in camp. It's early and there's still a lot of room for improvement, but there's a lot of time left. And I think the scrimmage was good to get our guys out here and compete and go up against a really good defense. So it's up to us to kind of correct those minor details, figure that out, and keep moving forward.
Does it change in any way now this upcoming week, because now you start getting into preseason games and stuff? So does the structure change in any way?
I think as long as you're keeping your focus the main thing and you're detailed on all those details, I think that's the important thing. And if you let it be a distraction, it can be a distraction. But those guys, they're dialed in, and I know that we'll have another good week of practice of preparation for this preseason game.
Camp, Brandon mentioned you want to kind of tweak a few things, and one of the things he wanted to see this year at camp was just kind of heightened energy and competitiveness daily through what's been like a week and a half. Do you feel like you guys have sustained more competitiveness and more energy?
Yeah, I think competition's been huge, and I think those guys have really grasped that idea well. And whether it's one-on-one, 7-on-7, team periods, these guys have been getting after it. And I think that's great because we're pushing each other, and as long as the offense is pushing the defense and vice versa, we're going to get better. And so it might not always go our way, but to have those guys push us, I think that's been big this year.
You've been locked in the training camp, but any thoughts on Oregon going into the Big Ten and the whole Pac-12 collapse and everything?
Growing up a Duck fan, it's always tough to kind of see the change like that. I grew up a Pac-10 fan, and to the Pac-12, it's always weird change, but I'm excited for Oregon. They've obviously got a tough schedule coming up, and I'm all for that school. They've given me so much support and care over the years that all I can do is just reciprocate it. So whatever they end up doing, I'm all on board for them.
You're basically going to be the last Oregon quarterback to take a team to the Rose Bowl under the classic.
Pac-12.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I guess that's pretty cool. But excited to watch them in the Big Ten. That's a great opportunity for them to play some really good football teams. Tough moving on from the Pac-12, but I'm looking forward to watching them.